Well, hi everyone, it's Sally again with another episode of Magic Mike Moments. And today I'm very excited and thrilled to be chatting with Angie Rassi. Hi, Angie.
Hi, Sally.
Welcome for coming on today.
Thank you so much for having me. You know how much I appreciate
got here, hey? Yeah. So let me just give you a little bit of a background about Angie. Angie is the founder of the Find Your Bling board game. She's created the game because she's passionate about women finding their diamonds within. She's a mum of two, a lover of fine foods and fine dining, and has traveled extensively. Now, her mission is that every women's shelter in Australia has their very own copy of her board game. She's a connector, a motivator, and she inspires women to live a life they love. Women who have played the game have found insight, clarity, and direction to make room for new and exciting things to come into their life. So if you're feeling energetically drained by life, Angie is the go-to girl for finding your bling so you can put your bling back on. And having known you, Angie, you are the bling queen. So welcome, Miss Bling.
Thank you so much, Sal. I love it.
And yeah, so I've met Angie through networking and then have actually become a bling angel myself. So Angie, I would love you to talk a little bit about your journey, perhaps some of the challenges along the way to get to the moment where we're at now, where you've got your angels, you've got your game going, and you're just about ready to roll out some training.
Yeah, well, oh my God, it's just been such a big journey. I suppose the journey all started when I was holding my daughter 28 years ago.
Oh, that long ago, yeah.
That is actually when my real love for personal development. I'll never forget, I was sitting in the chair and I was breastfeeding. And you know how when you're first at home as a mum, you have this opportunity to watch TV. And back then you had a remote control. It was all different back then. And you probably had 4 channels actually. But anyway, so I was watching Oprah. I'll never forget it.
Good, yeah.
I was completely glued. Like I was just like this. And it was like she gave you permission to love personal development.
Wow.
And I knew when I looked down at Bridie, I wanted such a better life than what I had had. And I felt then I had access to tools, resources. You know, she'd always be talking about books. And believe me, I was buying every book. Back then, you had to even buy the books from America. You didn't always get them in Australia.
Yeah.
So I suppose my journey started really in that moment, looking at my daughter, just wanting more for her. And I recognised that I'd always been open and curious, but there were other people out there that would talk about it and things like that. And then I was with her dad for 17 years and I had a little boy after that. And then we decided to part ways. And so I suppose that was a time of where your whole life implodes. You know, you've got to let go of growing old together. You've got to let go of that you're going to be going to soccer together. It's a whole new world. The friends that you thought were your friends weren't your friends, and other people pop up that were your friends. Like life just becomes this like, I cannot find my way.
Yeah, upside down, right? It's like, whoa.
Yeah. Oh my God, it was upside down totally. And, you know, we'd had our challenges, but we still remained connected after that. And, you know, we were always good with the kids. And I think that's really important. And, you know, I suppose I've had a few loves that I've needed to leave. I've been hurt in love as well. It's sort of just like really been a journey of a lot of change. And a lot of it wasn't expected.
Yeah.
Do you know how you think you have this plan? You think you're all on the same goal, and then all of a sudden the whole oval changes. And where the goalposts were, they were different. So I suppose in that time, so I was a wedding photographer prior for about 20 years and a baby photographer. Yeah, long time. Then I found personal development that you needed to cross the two over. So I still did photography for quite a while. And ever since then, I've still saved a few weddings. It's quite funny. I can't see through the lens anymore, but they still seem to work the photos. That's actually funny. You know, when you're at a wedding, the photographer doesn't turn up, and I've got the camera like I can't see a thing, but I remember where to put the camera. But that's okay. That's funny. And then I really think that when my first relationship really broke down, it was when I became a Louise Hay facilitator. And that just then I went on a journey of creating many, many courses, used a lot of her material, used other material, changed it up that it made it more fit to what I was hoping for women to gain. And then I suppose I developed a game, and I actually developed the game. I developed Find Your Bling for Diamond Club, way back in 2007 or 8, something like that.
Right.
And I put it away. And then 3 years ago, someone asked me to get it out, and we played it at Betterer can you believe where we're going? We had Diamond Club from Canberra, Diamond Club from Sydney. And to think 3 years ago to this date, I'm now doing training.
Wow.
And all it was 250 cards, 5 decks, which has grown into 800 cards and 8 decks, and a board. We didn't have a board for the first year. We didn't have a board. We did have dice. Always liked dice.
Yeah.
And so I suppose the journey has been finding a career, finding love, all the ups and downs, getting into personal development, really love group work, absolutely passionate, did a lot of private coaching as well. And now I'm doing Bling Angel certification with you and another 11 beautiful ladies. There's 12 of you. And we are all, now we're on the journey to heal hearts all over the world. And that's always been my mantra, that I will heal hearts all over the world. You heal one heart, you heal another. Because when you can heal a woman's heart in her home, it flows from her.
Yeah.
Like regardless of where that flow goes.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether the relationship stays or doesn't stay, or whatever the dynamics of her life is at that moment. When she's healed, others around her heal.
Yeah, it's energy, right? And that's how it works.
It's energy. One of the nicest things when I was on I think it was a chakra course, actually, we were talking about chakra courses before. She said, when you take your hook out of how you want it to be, life gets easier.
Oh, it's so true. It's 100%. 100% letting go, right? That's one of my big mantras.
Letting
go, and then the magic happens. Now, so how long were you involved with Louise Hay and doing all that sort of facilitating and acquiring all of those skills? So you sort of had the crossover with photography. So has it been like 10 years, 20 years sort of doing this sort of coaching?
Yeah.
Facilitating?
So I did Louise Hay. I certified myself in 2006. I don't even know how long that is.
Right.
Yeah, 2006. And I started straight away.
Wow.
And I started with a friend, and I was so super excited, and I would run them in my home. I had 12 seats in the upstairs lounge, and off we went straight away. I just knew it was what I was going to do. Yeah. And from that, you sort of acquire more skills. So, you go out and you learn hypno, NLP, counselling, coaching. You're just sort of developing more and more skills.
Yeah.
I even did Reiki, but that was a bit slow for me. Good. I don't think this is my thing, but I really enjoyed it while I was there. Yeah. And I suppose I actually started with group work, not one-on-ones. And that's really interesting because most coaches that come to me haven't done group work.
Yeah, right.
They haven't done a lot of it. They're like and I found that I did my 2 12-week courses every year. And from that, I would then, clients would come to me either from people that were in the course, but often their families or their friends. So does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
What I love is that you've taken all your knowledge, wisdom, and experience and packaged it up into a really user-friendly form of this game now, Find Your Bling game with the cards. And having been involved, well, I only met you, last year or the year before, but now that I've come on board as part of the Bling Angel process and the journey, the cards you can do, just do the card readings out of the game. And there's
100%.
This is just a stepping stone, but it's taking everything, packaging it up in a really user-friendly way. So it's not the traditional, one-to-one coaching or whatever. It's just a new angle of getting it. The other part I wanted to talk about was, a portion of the games goes off to women's shelters. And, there's just tell me about your passion there.
Yeah, I am very, very passionate. So I was raised in domestic violence. My mum definitely had some very unideal partners. that were very unkind. But after I left, I never had anything to do with any of sort of violence ever again in my life. So I really feel for women that didn't experience violence as a child, but then enter it as an adult, because, you know, we know most violence does start when someone's pregnant. It starts when we're most vulnerable. So when I developed the game actually developed the game for myself and my own clients. And then this is how it's sort of grown. The other coaches, you know, said, oh, I could use that. And I'm like, oh, that's good. So it's sort of like it developed that way. But I'm super, I would love the game to be in every single women's shelter in Australia. So a donation from every time you buy a game, part of that game goes towards a game. And when they first came to Australia, I offered 1 for 1. So if you bought one went to a women's shelter. And I would hope that one day, so I'm looking this way because this is where the game is. It used to be behind me, my bling room, but I haven't got a bling room right now. But the game, I hope that in the shelter, and they pull a card, and I will keep giving cards to shelters so that I'm like, just give them away. I can keep supplying you. I really hope that they hold that card, and then just one day it helps them get out one step sooner, because all the women that are really badly injured or unfortunately killed in Australia all thought they were safe with the man. They never thought they would do that. Like, no one's going to walk into somewhere that your life is under threat or your children's life is under threat. Sadly, we are naive and we think that people wouldn't do what we do because we don't think like that. But we have to accept sometimes they think differently. Their process thinking, all their thought patterns are different. So what they're capable of, you're not capable of.
Yeah, 100%. And
did that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you don't act that way yourself, you can't think that way. It's not in your makeup, or, you know,
it's very difficult.
It's something foreign, right? And it's unfortunately, and I don't want to focus on the DV stuff, but, you know, COVID has really seen such an increase in it with everybody at home. So one thing that we should really touch on a little bit more is actually about how the game works, because I know, and you get caught up with, you know, what it's all about, but it's so powerful. It's such a powerful tool to help people, you know, peel off the layers, if you like, down to what's really going on at a deeper level. From a sometimes superficial level, people come in with questions, and then it takes you on a deeper path. So do you want to do a little bit of an overview of the game and how it works? And
yeah, sure. So how it works is the game is actually designed so that you can ask any question. How can I have more money? How can I have a great relationship? How can I deepen my relationship? How can I leave my relationship? You can even come to the game, which I often play, and just say, what do I need to know? And you'll pull a card, and then just something will land in your head or your heart, and you're like, oh, okay. Because what I know to be true is that when we're at a fork in the road, is that great questions and great affirmations help you find new paths. And that's how we invite what we would love to have in our life that we don't have, because everything you say is an affirmation, whether it's something you're attracting, which is positive, or something not so positive. I always say you're either going love and above or down the rabbit hole.
Correct.
So the game actually works that you can either play with the board or without the board. Lots of people journal with the board. Like, lots of people have been writing to me saying, oh, I love this deck. I journal with it every day. But the game, if you're going to play Find Your Bling, how it works is you ask a question, you move around the discovery diamonds, and by the time you get to the end of the discovery diamonds, you will have 8 to 12 cards. And with those 8 to 12 cards, you will have answers to your questions. I received the most, it was just so, a lady that I just passing, just talking. It was not anyone. I had explained to her about the game, and she said how disconnected her and her husband were. And I said, would you give the game a go? And so she bought it, and she played it that Saturday night. Like, how's that for an action taker?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. And then she rang me up and she said, it's the best conversation we've had in about 10 years. And they'd had children, they had a lot of things.
Yeah.
But you could tell she really, really loved him. Like, she really loved him, and she said it was just one of the best conversations they'd ever had. And she said we were pulling cards, we were laughing again, and he got to express a few things that he didn't know how to tell her. And so she was able to address that, which, I mean, how good is that?
That is so good. So good.
Oh, God, I love that. I love that. I love that. Especially,
yeah, sorry.
You know, no.
I was just going to say communication, right? It gets that communication
It's everything
happening, you know, talking, and so critical in relationships. It's just awesome. And I just love that this is just something so different, which is simple to play, but really it takes you on this deeper path. And, you know, we did some midday magic sessions last year where women came along and went into breakout rooms with individual angels. And it's interesting how you never get a wrong card. The card is always relevant for whoever's in at the same time. And I've been doing cards for a long time, and you never pull a wrong card, but it's such a beautiful bond that's formed in these small private boutique little rooms. And, you know, uncovering a lot of sometimes life-changing sort of light bulb moments that would go off in these things, just peeling it back to what's really going on underneath. And so powerful. And so I use the decks all the time. I use them with my clients. Even in networking, you know, we pull one of the inspiration deck cards at the end just to inspire people as they leave from networking, something to ponder. You know, it's really user-friendly. So can't wait for training.
Oh, I can't wait either, because after training, you girls will have all the content to run a 12-week course. And with that 12-week course, you can use the game. But also, you know me, I'm like, use all the other content you've got as well. But it's going to be jam-packed. So you're going to have 12 weeks to actually go on a journey with your clients if you'd like to, or when you would like to.
It's so exciting because you've had years and years of living this stuff, the experience, acquiring the knowledge and the wisdom of everything that's come together through, you know, 20 odd years of all of this sort of stuff. And it's now more than ever, it's needed out in the world. You know, we don't have time to muck around. Let's just not carry all this shit with us. Let's unload it and live a happier life, because life's too short. And it's just like, you know, I like to shift people from crappy to happy, you know. And
I love that. I think it's really important to know about that. Even when you are really well trained in all your exercises and you have all the tools to get yourself, you still have huge obstacles.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, and I think sometimes people go on this journey that they're going to do personal development, then life's going to be rosy. It actually doesn't work like that. And I definitely was one of those people. So I was a bit cross for a while that I had done all this work and spent all this money. And I realize now that life is full of obstacles. It's just how you deal with them. But you have much better strategies, much better tools to actually pull yourself out, move forward. So you don't stay in the downside. You don't stay down in the rabbit holes long. You can get yourself up. And, you know, communication. We all know that all relationships break down because of communication. That's it. You know, I usually say too much sex, not enough sex, too much money, not enough money. But it's pretty like, that it's all about communication when they're breaking down and people are not feeling their needs are met.
Yeah, 100%. And as you said, like, everything is a work in progress. So personal development is a work in progress. And with the more tools and techniques that you have in your toolbox, it just helps you, because everything's a choice, right? Shift that perspective back to be more positive and grateful. And so that you can keep going on and stumbling, but you're going to get back up and keep rising, moving forward. Fantastic.
Can I share with you what Misty said to me today?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, this is so super funny. Now, I'm not going to get the story completely right, but just the gist of it. She goes, you know, we're overcoming problems all the time. And I said, oh, God, Misty, I know. When does life just get easy sometimes? And she said, well, really, everyone wakes up with 10 problems. So say, because she was relating it, I think, being a relationship coach, she said, say if you're in a relationship and you haven't started dating, well, then all of a sudden you've got problems because you don't know where to go for dinner. And she goes, so then you've got more problems. So she said, so you solve one problem and more problems come. And she said, and then she said, you're in the bath. And she said, and then there's too many bubbles to have sex. So then you've got another problem because there's too many bubbles. She had me laughing so much today. It was fabulous. But I think what she was really saying is we've all got problems at all different times.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're floating. We all know we only learn in the depths of the problems.
Absolutely. You've got to go through it, come out the other
Isn't
side.
she funny?
Oh no, very
She's
funny, very
so
funny.
funny.
Very funny. So that leads me into my next question. So what do you think is your actual superpower? And, what is your magic, your true essence of why people are drawn to you, you in particular?
Why do they think I'm drawn? I think that I see people whole. I don't see people anything but whole. So when they come, even what they're going through is whole. And I think probably I'm telling you what people have told me. But people have always said you always make me feel good, because I don't see them as their problem. I only see them as whole, and that they can move forward, because we all know everything's going to pass. So I think that I can see, and I really think my teachings are always with laughter.
Yeah.
I think there are some things that, I know that there have been people that, have done lots and lots of training and will come and they go, I've learned more with you than anyone else, but you make me laugh every week, because I really think laughter is the key. It is the key, and when you can see someone in that depth of pain, it's just so sad. And if you can make them laugh in that moment, you've done a beautiful state change. So I'd say laughing and seeing them as whole. I never see them as the problem, no matter how big it is. I just see them as the good person they are. I do only see the good in people.
Yeah.
Sometimes that can be a problem.
Well, what I really like and drawn to you about is that you're real, right? You're just real. You're genuine. You're authentic. You're very open with sharing everything, and I think that helps other people feel more comfortable to share too, because we've all got a past, we've all gone through stuff, you're not scared about sharing about that, because you've learnt and grown from it, and if it can help other people as well. So yeah, absolutely. And laugh, I get an ache half the time I'm hanging out with you. Like we just start laughing about stuff. It's hilarious.
We do. I really think that sorry, you said something about when you were talking about laughing. I was going to share something else with you. I forgot it now. Sorry.
It's about the ache. Just sometimes we just like laughing, and when we get the Bling Angels together, and then one starts and the other starts, and we just go off, and it's good. It's a community, and it's a great. So with everyone that you're working with at the moment, what do you think is the biggest problem facing these people? Is your main niche sort of women?
That's a really interesting question. Many years ago, when I started to write my courses, How to Be a Queen and Have a King, which you'll have soon, when I started writing all those courses, I was attracting very powerful, successful women. And I must be honest, I really didn't know what was drawing them to me. I used to say, I'm really a bit woo-woo, but I don't wear the caftan. So that became a bit of a joke. People came because they... I don't know how that all started either, but that was pretty funny. But I think the thing is, I think we all get to those places when we're in overwhelm, but those deepest feelings are that we feel lost and lonely. And how do I know this? On my email list, I sent out to all the ladies that had been in my Heal Your Life course, Find Your Bling courses, my How to Be a Queen, Unleash Your Intuition. And they all said, when I found you, the biggest response I got back on the emails was, I just felt so lost, or I just felt so lonely. But by goodness, you would have never known that if you met them. Does that make sense? So they had learnt to work, a lot of them in very masculine energy, and I taught them how to drop back into their feminine energy. Yeah. That was because I lost my feminine energy too when I got divorced. Like I cut my hair off. I looked like this. I was pretty angry. I was pretty much, I think I was Hairy Hilda, pretty cranky all the time. And I was like a child, so I wore pants. And it was amazing when I went on this course that taught me, which you'll learn at the retreat. Yeah. I was so passionate about learning how to be feminine again. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not masculine when I work. I just learned when to drop into what energy. You don't need to be at war at home.
100%.
These are all things you need to learn when you haven't been taught.
because that's when I'd done a couple of your courses, and it really actually made me stop and think, because back in the 80s, 90s, you had to be the what was it, the perfume princess? No, the steamroller, the
I
perfume
remember
steamroller,
her.
whatever.
She had the big blonde
Yeah,
hair.
and it was, to be a powerful woman, you had to be out there, you had to show a lot of the male sort of attributes, and you put this armor on, and you were like, very masculine in your energy. But these days I think times have changed a lot, where you can still be that soft female with the nurturing and still be very powerful and be corporate and be up there, and it's balanced out a bit. I think it first went from, as women came into the workforce in senior roles, had to have this sort of persona around them, and now it's okay, now that we've gone into the 2000s and 2010s, 20s, where it's more balanced, because there's most couples are working, if it's a male and female relationship, both are now working, rather than women used to have the traditional role. And so it's okay to be soft and gentle with your energy, but still be a powerful force. And one thing that really you highlighted to me is that let's bring the feminine back in the way we dress, and be feminine and stuff, and not you do make me laugh, but not too booby, that's your thing.
Not too booby, girls. Working. I mean, when you're working, it's I think there's a few things that you want to be feminine, but you don't want to be Marilyn Monroe when you're working. Like when you're working, you need to be working.
Yeah, respectful, like not too short skirts and all that sort of stuff. But it's okay to be feminine, have the pink and the reds and the colours and the flowers and the everything, rather than the black suits and the the harder style of stuff. Yeah, interesting. So probably being lost and lonely perhaps might be.
I don't think they know they're lost and lonely.
Okay.
I think what happens is people come because they feel that they're at a fork in the road. They've got so many balls in the air, and they're not sure what's not right.
Right. Yeah.
And I think then you start the 12-week course and you go on the journey and you go, actually, I was feeling really lonely.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we can always identify when we're in a time of transition or change. I don't believe we can always identify the feelings. But I think only from that email, I realised that they were feeling that, but I didn't know that. But really, that's been my biggest hurdle in my life. My biggest hurdle in my life is that I suffer a lot of, I used to feel very lonely as a child. I always felt very lost because we grew up very, very quickly. So I think that, not feeling a part of something, and look, you can be a part of things that aren't healthy because you crave connection.
Yeah, yeah.
But really, is it good for your soul? Is it really good for your soul to turn up to places like, if you don't take drugs and they take drugs? Well, it's not good for your soul because you're out of line, aren't you? It's not. It's not congruent.
Yeah.
But we will do anything to crave. It's like why women stay in abusive relationships, because not knowing is better than not knowing.
Yeah, better the devil you know.
This is jobs. This is not just relate. This is jobs. This is so many things.
Yeah, it's comfort zone in some ways. As I was saying, better the devil you know. But
isn't that a terrible saying? Because often when you jump, it's amazing what happens. Things can actually change.
Yeah, it's so many times, that picture of someone jumping off the mountain, they're actually soaring rather than falling, So it's just having the balls to do it, baby, pulling up your big girl undies and taking that big step, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, and then real change happens. That's what we're passionate about.
100%.
So that leads into so everything that you've learned so far, what would be your 3 top tips to help people in life moving forward?
Read.
Anyone?
Yeah, I think you need
one if you've only got one. But
I'm trying to think. I think reading. I think reading changed my life, and I used to dedicate 20 minutes a day. So I'm a huge lover, as you know, of Louise Hay, Marianne Williamson. Marianne Williamson and Louise Hay's books fell apart at my home, and I needed to buy more copies. I was pretty eager to learn because I was pretty hurt, and even so, I know this is going back, but I actually think when those women wrote to me and said I felt lost, I thought, oh my God, that's how I felt for years. That's how I know we don't know what we don't know. Sorry. Now we'll go back to that. And I think the other tip I would say is ask yourself great questions and get yourself some great affirmations. I know they just sound so simplistic, but realistically, if you can wake up in the morning with a great affirmation and a great question. I don't know how it works. I just know it works. The universe seems to answer the question during the day through a phone call, through a sign, through someone ringing you. Something will happen that will fall in your lap because you were brave enough to ask. And let's face it, sometimes we don't want the answers. That's where the great affirmation comes in. That's usually where the great affirmation holds that space for us to work through the transition of whatever that transition is. And none of us know the future.
No, that's right. I mean, you call it a bling ritual, and I've done a few of those courses, which is amazing. But if you don't put it out there, it can't come to you, right? So you've got to put it out and say, what do I need to know today? You know, show me the way. Thank you, thank you, thank you, all that sort of stuff. And the gratitude that sits with it, and the affirmations, really empowering yourself, right? So,
100%. Look, you're either going to get up and say, I hate Mondays or I love Mondays.
Yeah.
But both of them are sending out an intention. I just ask, is it the intention that you're looking for? Is this going to bring you the outcome, what you want? And let's face it, Sal, I know you and I have both been in places that have been really dark and really hard. And it is hard to put an affirmation on and ask a question. But even if the affirmation is, I'm okay, it doesn't, it doesn't have to be this big, long thing. Sometimes when you're not feeling well, just I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay, will actually start to change all the cells in your body, all the feeling.
You're vibrating its energy,
You're vibrating it.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you're in this darker, heavier energy and you're vibrating that, oh, I'm not good at this, or I'm no good.
No, it's so
you're tracking that in, and that's what you're sending out. You want to lift and shift and lift that energy so that it's like, I am okay. I will be okay, but I am okay.
Yeah.
I'm living and breathing now. There might be shit turmoil going on around me, but I am okay.
I'm okay. Do you know one of my favorite ways to start an affirmation when life's really bad is I'm willing. I just love to say I'm willing being open today. I'm willing to something good happening. I'm willing to letting something go. I'm willing. I just think when you start, I have 3 very defined ways to start affirmations, and we'll be covering that on the retreat. So you'll be able to, you'll have all that information. Have you done my secret of 8?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you know the 3 steps. And that first step, I think, is the most gentle step, but the easiest to put you back in flow, because we all know the only reason we're down a rabbit hole is because we're not happy. Why aren't we not happy? Because we're not living our truth.
Yeah, exactly.
And as soon as you live your truth, you're happy again. So whenever you are down in the pits, you're there because you're frightened of something changing. But what I've learned from life, and I think, Sal, you and I have talked about this before, that you've even said to me, like, you're either going to learn it in 1 year or in 5 years. Why not learn it quicker?
Fail fast, right? Fail fast.
Yeah. Put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And sometimes that little bit of separation from something actually can bring a deeper love for something coming forward as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you said, it's all about being in flow, because that flow gives you the alignment, gives you the momentum, and brings in that happiness. It just fuels that tank.
It does. But there is positive flow and negative flow.
Yeah.
Because I know that my dad used to always say, he used to call me Simone Michelle. He never called me Angela. He'd go, Simone Michelle. He goes, can you please go with the flow? And I go, Dead fish, go with the flow. I'm not going with the flow. As a teenager, you're really feisty. Yeah. So still, even when I hear that flow, I hear me saying to my dad, Dead fish, go with the flow, Dad. With that real teenage attitude.
Yeah.
But I always say there's positive flow and negative flow, and you're just working out which flow you'd like to be in.
Yeah, absolutely. Which path you're going down. So
and get back into your truth. I mean, I know you and I last week, I had a session with you last week, and I just love the way you said, just own your truth this year. And I thought, you know what, Sal, that's the best advice I've had. And in the morning I had said, let something magic fall on my ears. We talked, didn't even know we were going to talk, but that was what I put in my Bling Magic book at the end of the day. Yep, Sal said, live your truth this year. Love that, Sal.
Yeah, and then it's so easy. I mean, it's not easy, but it's a lot easier. Wipes off your
it's never easy, but it is easier.
Yeah, absolutely. So out of your life so far, what do you think has been the biggest thing you've let go of?
I would say the first thing that I let go of was judgment of my parents for not being who I wanted them to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was so funny when I was holding Bridie, when I'd had her dad said, your job's just to do a better job than your mother and I. And I thought, well, that's not going to be too hard. That wasn't the greatest challenge. I didn't even see my dad for 8 years. Do you know what I mean? It was all very complicated and messy. But what I'm saying is I just love this like bit of wisdom. And I actually remember holding it and actually laughing, going, okay, yeah, that's great advice. But it was sweet. It was.
Yeah. All right. So the next one is, how have you stepped up? So you've let go of judgment of the parents, and then how have you found that you've really stepped up in life?
Have I stepped up? I've done the work.
Yeah, done the work. Love it.
Done the work. You
done
know,
the work. Yeah.
I had to face how ugly I've been at times. Like when I went straight into my masculine energy, and I remember thinking, God, no one wants to date me. I look back at those photos and I'm thinking I would have run a mile as well. I looked like a bloody ball breaker. You know, like it was just crazy. But I think I was always willing and open to do the work. I've always gone to courses, not expecting to absorb everything.
Yeah.
If I could walk away from a course or a book with one new bit of information that could help me be a better me, I was happy.
Yeah, love that.
Because none of us are doing anything. That was the greatest gift Louise Hay gave me, was that my parents did the best they could. And then I know a whole heap of forgiveness floods in. Now, I don't necessarily always believe in forgiveness. Sometimes I think it's just better to call it disassociation. You don't have to forgive all the time. Sometimes I'm like, if you can't forgive, just disassociate. That's just as good.
I love that. Forgiveness is
possible,
things, right? Yeah, 100%. That makes
not possible.
That aligns with me. You know, just disassociate when it is.
Just disassociate. Just do the work. You know, those beautiful cord cutting meditations, or but really actually do the work to disassociate.
Yeah.
And I know that there was one of my mum's partners. I as much as I was trying to forgive him, and then one day I thought, I'm just going to cut this fucker loose. That's the best thing to do. And I remember just did a disassociation in my own head. And I thought, well, I feel heaps better already.
Yeah.
And I seriously never thought about him after that.
Yeah, you emotionally cut it. So that's
it. That's it. You emotionally just go, it's the end, because you've robbed me of enough time. And thinking about things. If I know that this would be with you and your clients too. I think one of the biggest gifts is when you say to them that the more you keep reliving this, the more they're getting more of you and more of your power. And it's like this light bulb moment. I know when I learned that, I thought, is that a blingity ding ding moment or what?
Yeah, it just melts away, right?
It melts away.
And it's gone. And it's only you that it's been affecting, right? It's just been working up.
Yeah, they're off having a good life.
And then it's butter off a knife. It's just gone, sliced.
Butter off the knife.
And then that leads into the third part. So we've let go of the judgment. We've stepped up by doing the work. And how have you become more of yourself? How have you had that deeper connection with yourself after doing all of this?
I don't think that's been easy for me because I didn't really come from a family that spoke. So you weren't allowed to speak your truth. So I did move in with my dad when I was 16, but it was all very superficial relationships. And I think I stepped up by starting to speak. And you don't always get it right when you say it the first time, but it's better than feeling walked over.
Yeah.
You know, like that was really hurtful. And whether the person wants to respond or not, I never worried about that. It was more about me actually just saying how I felt. And if someone didn't like it, well, I sort of questioned why they didn't like it. I'd be like, well, can't we have a conversation about it? And again, it comes back to, we know the communication either deepens a relationship or it parts a relationship. And often when one person wants to talk and the other doesn't, that will start the path of a part, you know, one trying, one not trying. Doesn't matter what the combination is, but I suppose the answer to that question is I started communicating with myself again.
Yeah.
And that was really when I was a very intuitive kid, you needed to be. And then what I noticed is that I became more intuitive and tuned into what was right for me, not what was right for everyone else. But so I am the greatest person to give myself up and go, oh, yeah, okay, I'll do that. Do you know, like, when I was working with someone once, she said, oh, did you want to be called Angie or Angela? I said, oh, I don't mind. I answer to everything. She said, that isn't what I asked you. She said, I asked you what you wanted to be called.
Yeah.
And that was a really powerful moment for me. And I teach a lot of my clients that as well. You are allowed to say what you like.
Yeah.
You don't have to have everyone else externally making decisions for you.
I love that. That's actually making me.
I know, it gives me goosebumps. That was a
Okay.
real gift. I loved that.
It's okay to be you, right?
It's
So
okay.
it's okay. That's fantastic. I just
Yeah.
I love these stories, right? And see how people have grown and what they've learned from it and how it's been challenging but how it's made them a better person, right? And a full person.
I think the biggest thing is we fear the connection that we have with the people that we think we're going to lose them, or we think they're going to change. The fact is, they won't. If they're meant to be there as you grow, they will be. And maybe they'll come back into your life later. Like we've all had people that we've lost contact with that come back into our life. And then there are other people that we're just on different paths. Neither one's right or wrong, just different paths, different values change.
Absolutely. We're all on different journeys, right? And sometimes they just go off on different paths, and as you say, they can come back together or whatever. And it is what it is, because we all grow at different rates and on different levels and all that sort of stuff. So now coming back to, which we've already touched on a little bit, but at the end of the day, what are you most passionate about? You know, what is it that gets you up of bed, that drives you, all that sort of stuff? Yeah.
Okay. What makes me most passionate is healing hearts all over the world.
Yeah.
I would love one day Find Your Bling to be in all different languages. I'd like to think the angels and I are flying over, of course, in a Learjet.
Angie and her angels, right? I can see
that's it. Angie and her
angels, wings on and all that sort of
stuff.
stuff.
I love it so. I think I'd love to have a community where we're really out there healing hearts all over the world. And I think what's to come will be fabulous. And you cannot do any great mission alone. Yeah. And you know how much I value what each angel is bringing. That's why I embrace already what you have. I've got no interest in you doing it my way. I'm hoping that Bling somehow can be of value to your business, of which we can enrich your business with it. And that's why you're allowed to rebrand all the exercises, because I'm like, I don't care. Just get out and do the exercises. That's the goal. The goal is do the exercises with anybody, anyone that will listen. Because, you know, as I shared with you, the lady that said, I asked you what you like to be called. It's these moments that you change someone's life where they feel more in control, or their intuition was telling them that they weren't stepping up for themselves, and now they can show up for themselves. So yeah, what wakes me up is healing hearts all over the world. Besides my kids, I adore my kids. But yeah, I think healing hearts all over the world with a community. You know, I have the Bling Village, and I really want it to be that we're out, you know, and picking each other up when we're really down, and knowing that they're coming. You know that bad times are coming again, but this time they won't be around so long, or hopefully you have better skills that you can actually repair it quicker.
Yeah, I love that. But what I really particularly love is the focus on the community. So it's building communities and you've got a community of people that you're working with to help, you know, bigger communities, because now more than ever is a time for people to become involved and part of communities, particularly what we've been through the last couple of years, and find like-minded people that keep us lifted up, because you know, challenges are thrown at us every day, and we've all learned to be quite resilient in the last couple of years, but it's also formed a lot of amazing communities. Like, look at the networking one. That's where I've met you and all the other angels and all amazing people. So out of the bad comes the good. I don't even like that word, because words have energy, right? But
I know, they do.
There's always positives to be found. So that just leads into my final question. At the end of the day, how would you like to be remembered? What would be your legacy?
How would I like to be remembered? I've been asked this question before.
Yeah.
I think, I don't even know it's about being remembered. I did photography years ago. When I used to find old photos, I would be very curious about who the person was that took it, that left that. And of course, you'll never know. Most photos, you'll never know. But I always loved that they had left something of love. They had left something, like my whole careers have all been about love. So I started actually working in disabilities. That was about love. Then I worked in photography. That was about love. And now I'm with you and the angels, and it's about love. I would love, not so much to be remembered, I would like in 100 years someone to pick up an inspiration card and it changes their path.
Ooh, love it.
Something really good comes from the cards, and that it doesn't even matter if I'm a part of what they remember. They just go, someone created this one day with love, and now that love has flowed on to me. So when I did baby photography, I really loved that 100 years from now, someone would look at that photo and go, that's really beautiful. She really loved taking that photo and she left something of value. That's probably what I want to be remembered of, leaving something of value, but they don't have to remember me as the person. Does that make sense?
100%.
I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, adding value to their life through what
through a photo or through a card, something that I've left behind. And I hope that in that moment it gives them some sort of love or strength to move forward somehow.
Love that.
Yeah.
Oh, I've just got to get that down to move forward. You always have these amazing little poignant things. So leaving something of value through creation to give them some love and strength to move forward. That's just beautiful, Angie.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
I've really enjoyed our chat today and talking more about you and how you've created everything and where you've come from in your journey, because these stories are so powerful, because everyone's got a past and formed them to who they are, formed their values. And yeah, it's a really interesting little conversation that I have with people. So where would you like people to go to find you? Where's the best contact?
I would love everyone to come to Find Your Bling to find us.
Yep.
So moving forward, there's going to be 12 beautiful angels running the Find Your Bling course that I had been running for years. If they choose to, they might just choose to do the coaching. But all the ladies that would love to do the courses, I'd love you to come to findyourbling.com. I'd love you to meet all the angels. Their photos are up. Our website will be up in about 3 or 4 weeks, but I think we have a page where people can meet you. And I even love that. Come and find us. You know, as you know, there were a few people that did apply and they weren't quite a fit for right now. So I do know that every angel is full of absolutely oozing gorgeous love, and they have a heart that can heal you in some way. So I'd love you to come and find the angel that you resonate with. I'd love you to have a Bling Angel reading with them. And if you felt that their course or their coaching was the right thing, I'd love you to embrace that. And if you would like to purchase your Find Your Bling for your very own home, which was actually created for coaches, but now it's in family homes, you can jump on the site and you can order your Find Your Bling and have your very own bling in your own home.
Yeah, fantastic.
Did I say where that was from after all that? Yeah, just findyourbling.com.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, for sure. And I encourage everyone to reach out and have a Bling Angel reading, because they are super powerful, and it just gives you a bit of a taste of, like, you know, how awesome this group is. And the game is amazing. The deck of cards, which I accidentally said dick of cards on working the other day. I was like, from the inspiration deck, and everyone went crazy. It's like, but anyway, we have lots of decks of cards. That's hilarious.
And we have another 4 coming.
Oh, really? Is that right?
We have 4 more new decks.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So they'll come with they'll come with the second edition. These cards will not change. There'll be 4 extra decks that you can swap out when you want to.
Yeah. And how much are the games?
$2.95. That includes delivery in Australia. And it's $3.95, which includes delivery America, Europe, Asia, anywhere. International is $3.95. Australian includes delivery, and $2.95 Australian includes delivery.
Yeah. Well, having had the game myself, it's so powerful, and it's so amazing. You know, I've got one for my sister, and we had a little party there and played the game, and, you know, you walk away going, whoa, I didn't see that coming, or I didn't think that was going to be unveiled. So super powerful. So Angie, thank you so much for spending time with me and having a chat today on Magic Mike Moments. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Can't wait to literally catch up with you in person in a couple of weeks. And yeah, we'll take it from there, and can't wait to see more of the Bling Angels starting to emanate all around the world.
It's about connection. I just want people to put down their phones and actually talk and connect.
Yeah.
So Sal, I can't thank you enough for having me today. And I can't thank you enough for all the great sessions I've had with you as well. They have been so valuable, and really you've healed my soul in many ways as well. So thank you very much, Sal, too.
You're welcome. Well, like attracts like, baby. That's just how it goes.
Love it. Bling, ding, ding together.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you once again for joining us, and look forward
everybody.
to seeing you again soon. Bye.